Throughout history, man has been constantly aspired to the embodiment of the life of something grand. In ancient, and not very times, were those Egyptian pyramids, Roman Colosseum, searching for a sea route to India, which resulted in the discovery of America, close to modern historical periods, completely abound, the so-called mega-projects, from the construction of the Soviet Canal, and the creation of nuclear reactor, before the first manned flight into space and the launch of a worldwide. That's not to mention hundreds projects for the construction of highways, irrigation systems and artificial islands. All similar projects have a common name: megaprojects. We will tell you about them today. However, it will not be about something already completed. Just the opposite. Neat megaprojects that can change history, for sure. Many of you have heard of impressive in scope ideas of Arab sheikhs, for sure. The largest of these is the City Wall project, called Line. In fact, he is part of an even larger NEOM concept. It's a development plan, territories in northwestern Saudi Arabia, in Tabuk County, and this is for a second area of about 25,000 sq km. For understanding, in such a space you can fit Slovenia and to Luxembourg. Already impressive, isn't it? In addition to the city length of 170 kilometers, the project includes a mountain and seaside resort, and hotel area and industrial sports area. The same project NEOM is included in the National Plan, Introduction of Saudi Arabia 2030, and has already received investments worth about 500 billion United States dollars. The GDP of only 50 countries in the world exceeds this figure, the scale admired. But what of itself will represent this great Saudi wall? Let's make out. It is stated that the city will reach 170 kilometers in length, 200 meters wide and 500 meters high. The metropolis should be completely autonomous and supplied by renewable energy sources. In the city, according to the concept, employment centers, population should be evenly distributed, so as not to cause transport problems in the territory, from just one main line. Where on such a huge city in the desert is there fresh water? This issue is planned to be solved with the help of desalinators, seawater that have already proven themselves, producing drinking water from the salt water of the Red Sea. For Saudi Arabia, for a special city and special laws. According to some media, you got opportunities. Get acquainted with the project documentation. In line with legislation, will be different from the legislation of the whole country. There will be a kind of state system in the state. Sounds it's certainly utopian, but without a spoon of tar in this barrel, there is no way to do honey. First spoon will be the fact of that when planning a line into account, technology was laid under development, or even those that do not exist yet, also remains unclear. How to distribute evenly in the employment center. For example, the project of the city provides only one industrial cluster, which already means its increased attraction. Talking about the environmental friendliness of the city, it's waste-free, and experts know during construction will be allocated more carbon gas into the atmosphere than emissions of some countries in a few years. By the way, the construction of the city has already begun. So, already earthy are going, and pile work throughout planned territory. Despite that, in what form will the project be implemented? It will give humanity a great experience in mastering uninhabitable lands. What may be useful in the future, including when creating a colony on other planets. Benefit that the line will still be completed, says, and that fact. Experts of the Arabian Peninsula already have experience building cities on desert land. So in the United Arab Emirates, back in 2006, construction of Eco-City Masdara was started. The original plan was supposed to that the city will eventually be inhabited by up to 50,000 man, and as many more will come to him to work jobs. This number of people will Sheikh Zayed Master University of Science and Technology, as well as a large number of offices and laboratories from all over the world. To date, the plan has been implemented only partly due to various factors, including the economic crisis of 2014. The original concept has undergone some changes. So, environmental friendliness and waste-free city plans 100%, down to 50%. And several 1,000 people live in the city itself, which is also very different from the figure of 50,000. And in general, Master is now perceived rather like Abu Dhabi suburb, rather than an independent city. Like whatever, Master continues to evolve and grow, exactly thanks to him. When drawing up similar projects of eco-cities of the future, the creators have a clear example, experience they can rely on. A draft line, which we mentioned earlier, takes into account master developments. So public faith in Saudi wall, not unfounded. from arranging life on Earth. Fast forward to life in space. Yes, you did not balk. Next mega project, about which we will tell, just about life on other planets, but hurry to make a reservation. It's not about the near future, yes, and not a fact, that life in that place is even there or possible. And no, we're not about Elon Musk's plans to colonize Mars. Referring to the space mega project makes the name Europe Clipper. What is translated Sailboat Europe Stop? And here is our old lady Europe, sailboats and space. The whole thing is that Europe, this name is not only all-known part of the world, but also the name of Jupiter's satellite. Well, satellite we have our own. Why would we need some orb 600 million kilometers away from us? But here is how the most interesting will reveal. The surface of Europe is made of ice, with almost no craters. This leads scientists to believe that what's under those ice may well be a water ocean with a microscope, or even more complex forms of life. Well, there are some bacteria there, and okay to us then. What from that culture laid an image in our heads, according to which alien life is a must. Humanoids are beasts or some higher creatures. In reality same. Finding even the simplest forms of life beyond the globe will not be that sensation. Opening of the millennium. It will give an incredible impetus to the development of science. And also finally answers question 1: are we in the universe? The mission itself suggests launch of an orbiting satellite to Europe, with subsequent descent to its surface, landing module, for the most detailed study. However, as in the case of previous megaprojects, not everything is so rosy here. The mission itself has been postponed for several months and her funding grew. The complexity of the project requires perfect preparation of the smallest details, also results in an increase in terms. According to recent statements, Europe Clipper launch scheduled for October 20th, 4th year. So we just have to wait. Talk about space. Now back to something more down to earth, rather driven, and to be exact to both. Our last mega project for today, one of the most significant in the history of mankind. It was successfully commissioned more than 100 years ago, and to this day continues to evolve, expand and improve. Someone could already guess. What is the Panama Canal? This is transport artery. Built in Panama, connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, letting the ports not skirt all of South America around Cape Horn. A save about 10,000 kilometers on the way. Construction of the canal began in 1900 and took 10 years. Worth noting, that idea of creating such a structure would connect the two oceans was born 600 years ago. However, kind of different reasons, in serious for implementing this idea, took place only in the 19th century. Yes, and then for the first time completely unsuccessful. Like whatever, the Panama Canal was and continues to be unique engineering structure. It is a complex system of locks, with which ships manages to overcome land barrier and cross to another ocean. By the way, in its entire history, the Panama Canal was closed only once, in 2010, due to heavy rains and the increase caused by them. Water level in reservoirs, used for channel operation. Another interesting fact is that up to 2000 channel control belonged by no means to Panama, the United States of America. The transfer agreement itself was signed 60 years after construction. In 1977, Ohm Well dug a channel in the ground. Well, courts walk on it. Mega project. But he is also completed for like 60 years, can you tell? But it was not here. In addition to constant channel maintenance, its extensions are also happening. The results of the 2006 Panamanian referendum, more than 3/4 of the population supported the expansion project, transport artery. As a result, the channel expansion was completed in 2016. Allowed vessels with large displacement, including famous oil supertankers, going through the channel. This expansion is very positive. Affected the budget revenue of Panama. Get them from the channel. Lately conversations are starting to circulate about another one potential expansion of this path. In addition, it is actively discussed old idea about building a double channel based on the project to create a canal in Nicaragua. So we can confidently state that mega project called Panama Canal, but cannot be considered complete and hang by a nail, rather waiting for their new art. And that's all we have for today. Share in the comments your opinion regarding the mega projects described by us. Which of these concepts, in your opinion, are the most promising? Don't forget to put like, subscribe to the channel,